Hey guys, it's me, Kimberly Clark, and this is a little demo of the Kat Von D Me Vida Loca Remix palette. I am super happy with this palette. I got it in the mail yesterday, and this is the first look that I've done with it, and I am thrilled. I think it turned out great. Everything blended perfectly. It was exactly what I expected from a Kat Von D eyeshadow palette, and I could not be happier. Basically, with this palette, you get these amazing bright colors, and then you have like a mini shade and light eye contour palette in the center. Now, I use the shade and light eye contour palette almost exclusively to do my cut crease, so I didn't use that today. I used just this, and I'm just thrilled with the results. So, if you want to see how to get this beautiful kind of multicolored rainbow macabre look, stay tuned and we'll go right into the demo. Hey guys, don't mind my nails. As usual, I'm starting out with my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk and an e.l.f. contour brush. Just going over the entire lid up to where I think I'm going to put my cut crease, and then blending it out with that contour brush to make sure it is nice and smooth. Then I am going in with this bronzy copper shade, Harpsichord, on a Sigma Firm Shader, an E57 brush, and I'm just packing that right onto the center of the lid. Now I find that you're going to get the best color payoff, not only if you use a white base, but if you pack these shadows on versus sweeping them. As you can see here, the packing method seems a lot more effective. And I'm taking the other side of that same brush and going in with Rewind, which is a deeper reddish shimmery shade. And I am just taking that onto the outer corner of what my cat eye is going to be. Now you can see I'm taking it up onto my brow bone. This is because my crease is going to go above where my actual crease is. And I'm trying to give the illusion that this entire section that I'm filling in is my eyelid, that my eyes are that big. As you can see, I'm forming the cat eye corner by looking straight ahead and tapering out that edge of that V. Then I'm taking a MAC 217 blending brush, and I am just blending those two shades together ever so slightly. These shadows blend so phenomenally well. You really don't need that much pressure or effort at all. And I'm going and reapplying more of that Rewind just to darken up that outer color. I'm taking Fran, that bright yellow matte color, on one of those cheapo e.l.f. brushes, the dollar eyeshadow brush, and I am packing that on the inner third of my eyelid, all the way into the inner corner, and taking it up and over. And I'm just using a Morphe M441 blending brush to blend those two colors together. I decided to use a different blending brush just because I really want to make sure that none of that deep red color gets anywhere near the inner part of my eye. If you're doing a look that is less dependent on a color gradient, go ahead and use the same blender. Then I'm taking Legend on the other side of that e.l.f. eyeshadow brush and dabbing it on top of the innermost part of that Fran shade to give it a little bit of golden yellow shimmer. Then I am tracing my crease with a NYX eye and eyebrow pencil brush in the shade Brown. This just helps me kind of know where everything goes. Then I'm taking the shade Noble, which is one of those matte neutral shades, on a kind of medium-sized fluffy Beautique brush, and I am just sweeping this above the crease line to use as a transition shade. Now you can see these neutral shades are effective if you sweep them on, and you can really get a nice delicate blend with them if you use them that way as well. And I'm going in with my trusty Urban Decay electric palette brush and the shade Vox. This is a deeper matte brown. You can just use a flat shader for this step. And I am filling in that crease line. Now I'm really trying to stay right above the crease line and not go too far down, because I'm going to be adding deeper colors right on that lower edge, and I don't really need to go exactly up to the edge of those lower shadows. Those shadows that are on the lid. But what I do want to do is get a nice, even, thick line that I'm then going to blend out the top portion of to create a semi-natural looking, oversized cut crease. Then I'm taking that around this kind of like boomerang cat eye situation and just looping around that outer V. Then with no additional product, I'm just going to use that same shader, wide shader end of that Urban Decay brush and blend out the top of this line to try to give a gradual deepening of color as we get closer to the crease. Then I'm going in to further blend out that line with this amazing e.l.f. crease brush, which I rave about in my e.l.f. brush video. I love this brush for blending out the crease. It is so precise, it is the perfect density and the perfect kind of spring to the bristles. It is fabulous for getting a really beautiful blend. And these shadows, again, are such superb blending shadows. They merge together so well, they layer so lovely, and I love them. This crease brush is so precise that I could really blend that kind of gradient into the perfect shape. Now, as usual, I'm going back in over that part of my brow bone that is a little oily and needs a little bit more coverage. And then back into blend. Blend, blend, blend. Then I'm going in with the smaller end of that Urban Decay brush, which is basically a smallish eyeliner brush. And I'm going in with black metal, which is the black matte of the palette. And I'm taking that all along the bottom of my crease. Now here is where I'm really defining the bottom edge of that crease gradient. So you can see I'm going to really go right up against the edge of that lid shade. And after I've placed all of that color down along the entire curve of that crease line, including all the way around the outer edge and down back into the eye, I'm going to kind of do a similar method that I did with the brown shade Vox and the larger end of the brush. I'm going to take the smaller end of the brush with no product on it and just give a slight blend upwards. If I find that I'm actually blending away too much of that black line, I will dip in and get a touch more product to add on. But these shadows are so pigmented that you could pretty much just spread that thin line upward and kind of create a thicker line than we're going to blend out. As is pretty obvious with the cut crease, you want the deepest color to be towards the bottom of the crease, so it really looks like your eyes are set in at that crease. And the higher it is, the larger your eyes look. Then I'm using that other end of the Urban Decay electric palette brush to begin to blend out the top of that thicker black line. And then of course, I'm going to go back in with my e.l.f. Crease Brush and really make sure that all of those shades are blended. Adding a little bit more of that black metal shade just to deepen up the very, very bottom of that crease and make it as sharp as possible. And then of course blending a little bit after I've added that. Fluffy Morphe M509, and I am just really giving a delicate, sweepy blend to the very top of that crease. Really blending that transition shade into the rest of my foundation, which of course I've already set with powder. At this point I like to draw in my eyebrows. I'm using NYX's eye and eyebrow pencil in the shade Taupe. I talk about this pencil along with brown in my summer favorites video as the perfect shades and methods for applying my eyebrows the way that I like it. Then taking just a Morphe angled brush that I got from a set from Haute Look and smoothing those brows out. Now I'm wearing a red wig, so I'm going to take that same brush and the shade Destroyer, and I'm going to fill in those brows with red. And taking a little bit of rewind on that same brush, and I am ombreing the outer part of my brows to deepen them and give it a little bit of dimension. Then as usual, doing some concealer cleanup with my MAC Full Coverage Foundation in the shade W10 and a Jane Iredale flat liner brush. This foundation is so full coverage that you could actually correct the edge of the brow on such a bright pigmented shadow like I just did. You can also see that I've added some of that deeper rewind shade into the inner corner of the brows too, just to give it extra dimension and making sure to blend out the edges of that concealer. I'm taking my sleek Dip It liquid eyeliner in black, and I am doing a pretty thick line starting right inside the iris of my eye and sweeping outward into a kind of medium length wing, taking it beyond the crease and aiming it towards the end of my brow. Then I'm just filling in that wing, again looking straight ahead to make sure I get the right shape, and then kind of opening my eye and filling in everywhere it needs to be filled in. Then I'm taking that shade Black Metal again, that matte black, on an e.l.f. angled liner brush, and I am just setting this liquid eyeliner and filling in any little gaps that are caused by the crepiness of my eyelid or just the eyeliner skipping. And I'm also slightly smoking out the edges and carrying that wing a little bit further and sharper towards the brow. I'm not worried about being too precise with this because I am going to clean up the bottom of that wing with my full coverage foundation as concealer, as I did with my brows. I love using such a large flat liner brush for this. It really gives you a flat line without having to pull across and potentially smudge your shades. Then I'm taking the NYX Glide On Eye Pencil in Azure, and I am just adding that to the outer 2/3 of my waterline. Then I'm taking the MAC Limited Edition Toledo Collection eyeliner in Chlorafill, and I'm adding that to the inner third of my waterline. Then using a Morphe M431, which is just a kind of small pencil blender brush, I'm going to blend those two together, and then take the shade Sink on that same brush, which is a beautiful matte cyan color, and adding it on top of that Azure shade. Now, even though this is matte, a little bit of the glimmer and sparkle of Azure does come through, which I kind of like that effect. Then I'm taking the shade Vinyl, which is that gorgeous matte lime green, on just a little Morphe kind of detail brush. Again, from that set I got from Haute Look. It was a vegan brush set. And I am adding that on top of that Chlorafill eyeliner and then blending it a little bit into that blue shade Sink. Then I'm going back in with that Morphe pencil brush and I'm adding Sink to the bottom of my wing, out and underneath my entire wing, just to give that black a little bit of dimension underneath. So you can see I kind of add some thick color and then I kind of smooth it out and try to make each side even. But of course, I go back to a clean e.l.f. crease brush and really blend out specifically that low light underneath the wing. Look how amazingly this brush does the trick, blending these shadows. Fabulous combo. And adding and blending till it's just right. Then taking the NARS Larger Than Life eyeliner in the shade Via Veneto and tight lining just under the outer 2/3 of my eye. And then I'm going to put on some mascara and lashes, and I'll be back. Boom! Alright, now I'm going to do some highlighting with my MAC Lightscapade Mineralized Skin Finish. This is just a very shimmery finishing powder that I like to put on top of my highlight. Just gives it a little extra glow. I'm applying this with a e.l.f. blush brush, a tapered blush brush. And I find that this is actually the perfect size to give me a very detailed high points of my face highlight. Then I'm taking the NARS Christopher King Collection Limited Edition blush in the shade Starscape, a beautiful hot matte pink. And on a Real Techniques blush brush, I am sweeping that onto my cheeks and taking it a little bit into the apples of my cheeks. Then of course brushing it around the edges of my nose, my forehead, and my chin, just to give me a little more of that color, make me look more alive, because I'm about to do a black lip. I'm taking the Kat Von D Everlasting Liquid Lipstick in the shade Witches. This is a fabulous matte black lipstick. I'm applying it correctly this time. I am doing a very thin layer and keeping my lips open. I'm not smacking my lips at all because I'm allowing the product to dry before going on and doing an additional layer. Now you'll notice I did not use a lip liner for this look. I find that the doe foot applicator on these liquid lipsticks and the opacity of the liquid lipsticks are sufficient enough to not require me to use a lip liner all the time with these, which I absolutely love. As you can see, I'm slightly overdrawing my upper lips. And when you do that, a matte lipstick is great because it doesn't reflect too much light and give away the actual shape of your lips. Now I'm going to clean up with concealer as per usual. Look how good this full coverage concealer really covers even a black matte lipstick. Good job, MAC. Adding my beauty mark with my sleek Dip It liquid eyeliner. Now I'm trying this little trick that a Sephora cast member told me about when I purchased this lipstick in Witches. And he said that I could apply any eyeshadow on top of the black lip to make a really beautiful kind of ombre look. And I think this is a great, great idea. And so I'm adding the shade Rewind just on my finger, just to the center of the lip, and it really gives this beautiful kind of ombre dimensional look. And here is the finished look. It is a kind of macabre, creepy, but very bright and festive look. I really love how the bright, colorful eyeshadows look with such a dark lip. And I'm very excited to try the other possibilities of this phenomenal eyeshadow palette. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And check out some of my other videos. I'm Kimberly Clark. Bye.